Guys, you know something? It's effing cold. I have the wrong clothes for the mountain and I haven't slept at all tonight. I'm fine, well, kind of. But it's a good thing I've got the brand new Alfa Romeo Stelvio to warm up my day. Let's go. Ooh, my feet are freezing. Fuck. So much snow. So, after the 4C, the Giulia, that, by the way, I haven't driven it yet. Can you hear me, Alfa Romeo? And now the Stelvio. Alfa Romeo is on its right way to refresh the image of the brand as a car maker that builds solid and fast products that deliver performance and emotions, just like they used to make in the past. This is actually a new and important direction for Alfa Romeo. They made a concept SUV back in 2003, but they never made it into production. So the Stelvio is actually the first SUV from Alfa Romeo that you can buy. And people expect a lot from this car. First of all, because the Stelvio takes lots of components from the very desired Giulia, for example the platform. On today's schedule we were supposed to drive through the legendary Stelvio Pass, but between yesterday and this morning the weather was so bad that most of the mountain passes have been closed. I'm glad about the current weather because, as you can see, the road is kinda dirty, and these are the ideal conditions to test the dynamic qualities of this car. First thing I can say is that this car is really grippy. This is given also thanks to the Pirelli Scorpion winter tires wrapped around the 20-inch wheels. And second, it's thanks also Q4, which is Alfa Romeo's all-wheel drive system. In optimal condition, the Stelvio behaves like a rear-wheel drive car because all the power goes to the back wheels. But when the conditions are slippery, like today, up to 50% of the power goes to the front wheels. And after playing for a while with the all-wheel drive system of the Stelvio, I can say that it really makes the car handle very neutral. Not to mention the huge amount of grip that this car is able to offer. In conditions like this you should be very careful, but behind the wheel of this Stelvio I feel very confident to push because I've got also the electronics that helps me, and I can feel the electronics kicking in when the grip starts to get very low. Currently I'm driving in dynamic mode. Basically that's the first thing I did when I jumped in the car. I wanted to test first the most sporty setting of the Stelvio. You can actually choose between three settings with the D and A Alfa Romeo Smart 18. We have N, which is the normal mode, and we have A, which is actually the most conservative and safe setting. But I have to say that driving in dynamic in these conditions is pretty safe, but also pretty fun. Let's try a standing start. Sadly, it doesn't have the launch control feature. I can feel the car probably sliding a little bit, but you can handle it without much effort. It's easy and balanced to drive in these conditions. It's a very good car, really. And driving in a sport weight around these winding roads feel very pleasant because really you don't have the impressions you're driving an SUV. You know, it has a high center of gravity and driving position, but after all, the weight distribution is literally perfect, 50-50, and the weight is not even that high. The extensive use of lightweight materials such as the aluminium and the drive shaft made in carbon fiber, all these lightweight materials make the Stelvio weigh just 1,660 kilos, and this reflects positively on the dynamic qualities of this car. As you can see in front of me, there is actually a big engine bay that is the home of the tiny 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo engine, which is a brand new engine for the Stelvio. And all that noise coming from a 2-liter engine, I mean, can you hear that? It delivers 280 horsepower and 400 newton meters of torque, and let me say that this is a rather brilliant engine. Goes to 100 kilometers per hour in just 5.7 seconds. And I'm glad that this engine is linked to a 8-speed ZF automatic transmission. It's a transmission that allows a very rapid gear change, and it's a transmission with a torque converter, but it feels and changes the gear like a double clutch, and it's rather pleasant to do that with these two giant aluminum pedals behind the steering wheel. The feel is very solid, and the pedals are so big that they're not confusing to find. You know, lots of cars have the pedals integrated that move with the steering wheel. I don't like that at all. I prefer the setup with just two big pedals behind. You always know the pedals are there. It's a tiny but ferocious engine. It redlines at 6,000 RPMs. Actually, I was expecting a little bit more, but it's not a kind of engine that really motivates you to push until the red line. Let's say that the optimal acceleration is until 5,000 and a half RPMs. This car is so grippy, it allows to unleash all the power almost any time, and the acceleration is really good in any condition. Driving around this Sapiens mostly in third gear, the gear ratio is quite short actually, and you don't feel the need to go any lower than the third gear. In the low and mid range, the engine is really able to put down lots of power and torque. Did you see that constantly? Sadly, it's not possible to turn off completely the electronics. In dynamic mode, the electronics is still there, less invasive, and it kicks in only when the computer realizes that you're about to spin out. But still, this is fun.
But let's focus also at the design of this car. I really like the interior design of the Stelvio. It's really clean and I love the styling. And this Stelvio is a launch edition, and you're surrounded by premium materials such as leather, aluminium, and even wood. I mean, it's something for middle-aged men, but I kinda like it. I touch everywhere, and what can I feel is solid and quality materials. You feel behind the wheel of a premium car. I think that over the time Alfa Romeo has really improved a lot the quality of its materials. I quite like the engine start button on the steering wheel, like we used to see on cars like Ferrari. And as I already mentioned, I love also the big aluminium pedals. I mean, behind the wheel of the Stelvio, you feel like you're sitting in a high quality vehicle. And just look at the central dash, it's so simple. And what I really like is the 7-inch digital display integrated in the dashboard. It feels so clean and pleasant to look at. If you look at most German saloon cars, the display look like a tablet thrown on the dashboard, and that's not good looking at all. But on the Stelvio, everything look in its right place and beautiful to look at. And what do you guys think of this Stelvio that I've driven today? This one finished grigio stromboli with red interior. I think this is a pretty cool colors configuration. And what I've realized is that you can see in front of me a red Stelvio, and it's a color that really fits nicely on this car. Just think of another SUV finished red. Most of them would actually look odd and weird, but this is an Alfa Romeo, and no matter the shape, red, it's a good color for it.
So, after having played for the whole day with the new Alfa Romeo Stelvio around the Alps, what can I say is, well done Alfa Romeo. You have gone through this new direction and you have created such a remarkable SUV. I mean, I think I have never driven an SUV of this segment with such a great sharpness and precision behind the wheel. The fact is that at a certain time I really forgot that I was behind the wheel of an SUV. Alfa Romeo has managed to create a car with this size that is able to offer a great driving experience. So my verdict is, beware Germans. My feet are frozen and I think I need new shoes. And on that bombshell, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel for more. And as always, thanks for watching. Ciao! Needless to say, the default still loves to oversteer, and if I had one, I would be definitely the best friend of tire shops. Behind the wheel, it feels like to be driving a go-kart. It's very communicative and easy to handle. The lightweight makes it also very agile in the corner.